Time bends, secrets resurface, and a single voice shatters the quiet between Claire and Jamie. In the shadows of the Outlander Season 8 trailer, one name rises above them all: Henry. Could Claire's long-lost father, believed dead for decades, have broken through time itself to find her? The trailer for Outlander Season 8 doesn't just tease us, it claws at every nerve, making us question everything we thought we knew about Claire Fraser's past. A single word, Mrs. Fraser, echoes in the silence, just as Claire and Jamie share what looks like a rare moment of peace. But peace never lasts long in the Outlander universe, does it? That voice, layered with mystery, has sent the fandom spiraling into endless theories, and the most electrifying one is this: Claire's father, Henry, might be alive. Not only alive, but standing at the threshold of her present. To understand the weight of this, we need to go back. Henry was first introduced in the prequel series Blood of My Blood. There, we saw him as a man bound by love and tragedy, a father whose fate seemed sealed by a fatal car crash. His death left Claire orphaned, and for years, his memory was nothing more than a shadow in her story. But Outlander has never been a series that bows to the rules of time or the permanence of death. If Roger could meet his own father through the stones, then why not Claire? Why not Henry? The brilliance of this trailer lies in how it toys with us. Outlander has a notorious habit of deception, cutting clips out of order, stitching scenes together that don't actually belong, and dangling false promises just to fuel speculation. Season 7 already tricked us with its hospital teaser, pulling us into believing the stakes were life or death, when in truth, it was something else entirely. But this moment in Season 8 feels different. The reaction on Claire's face isn't staged. It's raw. It's a shock that only comes from hearing a voice that her heart knows but her mind refuses to believe. And think about the poetic irony of it. Claire, who has walked through centuries, healed men at war, survived betrayals, and lost children, suddenly comes face to face with the father she buried in her memory long ago. Imagine the storm of emotions: grief, anger, relief, and, most dangerous of all, hope. Because Henry returning would mean the past is never truly past. It's alive, waiting to crash into the present. But what would this mean for Jamie? He has been Claire's anchor through every twist of time, every loss, every danger. Yet Henry's return could shake that foundation. Not because Jamie doubts her, but because family carries weight. Henry's presence could stir buried secrets. Did he time travel willingly? Was he guided by someone, perhaps the same mysterious forces that once pulled Claire through the stones? And if Henry is alive, what else have we misunderstood about Claire's family? Could her brother, long dismissed as irrelevant, also carry a hidden role? Of course, not everyone buys into this theory. Some say it could be William, Jamie's son, stepping into the light with a voice heavy with conflict. Others whisper it might be Lord John Grey, whose bond with Jamie has always lingered on the edges of jealousy and loyalty. But Henry's name carries something none of the others do: emotional devastation. It would connect Blood of My Blood directly to the main series, tying the beginning to the end in a circle only Outlander could weave. And for the final season, wouldn't that be the cruelest, most beautiful twist of all? The official synopsis already warns us. Jamie and Claire's return to Fraser's Ridge won't be the peaceful homecoming they imagine. The Ridge has changed. New arrivals, old wounds, and unspoken secrets are waiting. The Frasers must decide not only what they'll sacrifice for their home, but what they'll sacrifice to remain together. That last part, their togetherness, haunts me, because nothing tests love more than family secrets clawing their way to the surface. And Henry's return, if true, isn't just a reunion. It's a reckoning. Picture it. Claire, who has fought to hold on to Jamie through war, betrayal, and centuries, suddenly hearing the voice of the man who gave her life. A man she buried in the past. Does she run to him? Does she doubt him? Or does she fear what his return could mean for everything she has built? One thing is certain. The trailer has planted a question in all our minds, and until the first episode drops, we will all be left clinging to that single moment. The word Mrs. Fraser is no longer just a name. It's a crack in the wall of time. And let me say this, Outlander Season 8 isn't playing it safe. This is the final chapter, the grand finale of a saga that has carried us for more than a decade. With only 10 episodes, every second matters, and the showrunners know it. By placing Henry, or the illusion of him, at the center of the trailer, they've guaranteed one thing. We're not just watching for closure, we're watching for answers. And answers in Outlander never come without heartbreak. Season 8 doesn't just open with mystery, it opens with a storm of emotions, because Fraser's Ridge is no longer the same home Jamie and Claire left behind. The land that once symbolized safety and belonging has grown in their absence, with new faces, new loyalties, and new dangers. And that's where the tension begins, because while Jamie and Claire return with dreams of peace, what they find is a ridge that questions who truly belongs. The official synopsis makes it clear, this is no simple homecoming. Instead, it's a battle, not of armies and revolutions, but of whispers, betrayals, and buried truths waiting to be unearthed. For years, Fraser's Ridge has stood as a symbol of Jamie and Claire's fight for love against impossible odds. They carved it out of wilderness, they built it with their blood, and they defended it through war. But time is cruel, and the ridge has evolved without them. Families who stayed behind have forged new alliances. Outsiders have planted roots. And now, when Jamie and Claire arrive, they're not just greeted as leaders, they are judged as strangers. Can they reclaim what was once theirs, or has the ridge itself grown beyond their grasp? But the real danger isn't outside the walls of their cabin. It's inside the family itself. For years, we've watched the Frasers endure the weight of secrets, but the final season promises something darker, family revelations that cut deeper than any sword. And at the center of it all is the question of Faith Fraser, the child they mourned, the daughter whose death shaped their grief, the baby Claire held only for a moment before time ripped her away. That haunting memory has always lingered at the edges of their story, but now the showrunners have confirmed, Faith's fate will finally be confronted. Fans have long debated whether Faith truly died, or whether her story has been twisted by the strange, bending rules of Outlander's world. And if Season 8 dares to reveal that she lived, hidden away in some cruel twist of fate, then everything changes. Because Jamie and Claire's love is unshakable, but even love can be torn apart by guilt, regret, and the painful truth that they might have been denied their child by forces beyond their control. The thought alone is enough to crack the strongest marriage, and the trailer's hints suggest this isn't just speculation, it's the emotional bombshell waiting to explode. And while Faith's storyline simmers with grief, the Mackenzies add another layer of tension. Brianna and Roger, who've already tested their limits through time travel and loss, now face whispers of expanding their family once again. The very idea of another child sounds joyous, but Outlander has never treated family as simple. A pregnancy isn't just about new life, it's about new risk, new responsibility, and new dangers. Will Brianna bring a child into a world already brimming with uncertainty, or will her story take a darker turn, mirroring the tragedies her parents endured? Even Sophie Skelton herself teased that she'd welcome the challenge of another pregnancy storyline, hinting that the writers may not resist such a dramatic opportunity, but the ridge, the family, and the mysteries aren't the only pieces in play. This is the 8th book come to life, written in my own heart's blood, and while the series has always borrowed from Diana Gabaldon's novels with creative freedom, this season feels different. The showrunners have openly admitted that every storyline must affect Jamie and Claire directly. There's no room for side plots, no time for diversions. With only 10 episodes, the focus sharpens on the heart of the saga, the Frasers themselves. That means every betrayal, every revelation, and every heartbreak will strike them personally. The stakes are intimate, yet devastating. And think about what that means for Henry. If his voice in the trailer is real, if his return is more than just an editing trick, then he isn't just another character. He's the embodiment of the season's theme. Family secrets clawing their way back. A past that refuses to stay buried. And the ultimate question of sacrifice. because Henry's presence could demand that Claire choose between her father's legacy and the life she's built with Jamie. Imagine that tension. Jamie standing beside her, unshakable as ever, yet silently fearing that the ghost of Claire's past might pull her away. Of course, the show could take another path. It could toy with our hopes, build Henry's return into a mirage, only to reveal another familiar figure, William, Lord John, or perhaps even someone completely unexpected. But the writers know the power of connection. Bringing Henry back doesn't just shock us. It ties the entire Outlander saga into a perfect circle from the prequel to the finale. And if Season 8 is truly the last chapter, then it deserves that kind of devastating symmetry. The weight of 10 episodes cannot be ignored. Fans have already voiced frustration that so many years of storytelling must be tied up so quickly. And yet, there is power in brevity. Every second counts, every line must matter, and every glance between Jamie and Claire has to carry the weight of decades. That's why the trailer's simplicity works. It doesn't drown us in action or spectacle. It gives us one line, one voice, one reaction. And from that, it builds a storm of possibilities that will carry us all the way to the finale. Season 8 is not just promising us answers. It's daring us to ask the hardest questions. Who do we become when the past refuses to let go? How much are we willing to sacrifice for love, for home, for family? And, most importantly, what happens when the people we thought we lost find their way back? The Ridge is no longer safe. The Frasers are no longer certain. And the past is no longer buried. Outlander has set the stage for its most haunting season yet. If the trailer has taught us anything, it's this: the past never truly dies in Outlander. And that truth is about to hit Claire harder than ever before. Season 8 is not just about survival, not just about protecting Fraser's Ridge. It's about reckoning with every ghost, every secret, and every scar that has haunted the Frasers since the very beginning. And the deeper you look, the more you realize that the voice whispering Mrs. Fraser might not simply be a teaser. It could be the key that unlocks the entire emotional core of the final season. Let's think about what it means if Henry truly does return. For Claire, her father was always a mystery frozen in the past. His supposed death shaped her path, leaving her to grow without him and forcing her to cling to memory rather than presence. She never expected to see him again. And now, suddenly, she is faced with the possibility that he has not only survived, but crossed the impossible barrier of time itself to find her. This isn't just shocking. It's destabilizing. Because the moment Henry steps into her world, Claire has to question everything. Was her life shaped by lies? Did someone hide the truth from her? And if time has reunited them, at what cost? This possibility raises another haunting question. What if Henry's arrival isn't a miracle, but a trap? Outlander has always walked the fine line between destiny and danger, and characters who pass through the stones often pay a heavy price. If Henry survived, how did he? Did he willingly step into the past, seeking Claire? Or was he pulled by some force beyond his control, just as Claire once was? The stones take, they don't just give. And whatever price Henry paid may come back to haunt the Frasers before the story ends. And then there's Jamie. Throughout every season, Jamie has been Claire's anchor, her protector, and her partner through every trial. But Henry's return introduces something new, a challenge Jamie cannot fight with a sword, a battle he cannot win with loyalty or courage. This is a wound of the heart. Imagine Jamie, who has given Claire everything, now forced to watch as the father she lost returns to claim part of her heart. It's not jealousy, it's fear. Fear of being replaced, fear of watching the past steal away the woman he sacrificed everything to keep. That silent tension between Henry and Jamie could become one of the most emotionally explosive conflicts of the final season. The showrunners have already hinted that family secrets will be the beating heart of Season 8. And this doesn't stop with Claire's side of the story. Jamie himself carries ghosts, secrets that, if revealed, could fracture not just his marriage, but the very unity of the Fraser family. We've seen glimpses of this with William, his son by Geneva Dunsany, whose presence has always cast a quiet shadow over Jamie and Claire's life together. Season 8 could finally bring that shadow into the open. Imagine Henry's arrival colliding with William's claim, forcing Jamie and Claire to face both pasts at once, the family they lost and the family they try to hide. But the danger is not just emotional. The ridge itself is under threat. The Revolutionary War may be behind them, but the aftermath of conflict is never clean. New settlers arrive with their own ambitions, old grudges linger, and whispers of betrayal ripple through the community. The synopsis makes it clear. While Jamie and Claire fight external enemies together, it's the secrets within their own walls that could destroy them. And isn't that the cruelest kind of war? One where the battlefield is the family table and the weapons are truths too sharp to forgive. Faith Fraser's storyline intertwines perfectly here. If the show dares to suggest that Faith survived, perhaps hidden away by forces we don't yet understand, then Henry's return gains even more weight. Because suddenly, the Frasers are not just fighting for their land, their marriage, or their peace. They are fighting to reconcile with the children who define them. Faith's fate could mirror Henry's, blurring the lines between death, memory, and possibility. And if Outlander chooses to bring these ghosts back into the light, then Season 8 will not just be the end of a saga. It will be the ultimate test of the Fraser family's strength, and we cannot forget Brianna and Roger. Their role in the final season isn't simply about expanding their family, it's about legacy. They represent the bridge between centuries, the proof that time travel doesn't just fracture families, it creates them. If Henry steps through time to find Claire, then Brianna must ask herself, what does it mean to be part of a family that refuses to be bound by time? Can she raise her own children in such a world? Or will history repeat itself, forcing her to make the same sacrifices Claire once did? Season 8 is shaping up to be more than a conclusion. It's a mirror. Every loss, every lie, every choice Jamie and Claire made will come back, demanding an answer. Who will they forgive? Who will they fight? And who will they lose for the final time? The trailer doesn't give us those answers, but it does give us something more dangerous. Hope. Hope that Henry might still be alive. Hope that Faith might still be found. And in Outlander, hope is the cruelest cliffhanger of all. The closer we look, the clearer it becomes. Season 8 is about more than just tying up loose ends. It's about forcing the Frasers, and all of us, to confront the one truth we've been avoiding. Love does not erase the past. It only makes the pain of remembering more powerful. And in the final season, every memory will matter. Every secret will surface. And every choice will carry the weight of goodbye. The countdown to Outlander's final season is more than just anticipation. It feels like standing at the edge of a storm. Every trailer, every whisper from the cast, every clue hidden in the shadows has reminded us of one truth. This is the end, and endings demand answers. But Outlander has never given us anything without a cost. If Henry truly finds Claire, if Faith's fate is revealed, if Fraser's Ridge becomes a battleground for both home and heart, then Season 8 will not simply close a story. It will test the very soul of the Outlander universe. We already know the final season is limited to 10 episodes. Just 10 hours to bring more than a decade of storytelling to a close. 10 episodes to tie together betrayals, battles, time travel, and love stories that have defined generations of fans. Some say it isn't enough, that no ending can ever satisfy the weight of such a saga. But maybe that's exactly why this season will hit so hard. Because when you have no time left, every moment matters. Every glance between Jamie and Claire becomes a farewell. Every secret revealed cuts deeper. And every word, whether it's Mrs. Fraser or goodbye, echoes louder. The production details only add to the tension. Filming wrapped months ago, with reshoots and ADR quietly finished in early 2025. The cast themselves have hinted at emotional goodbyes behind the scenes. Sam Heughan's posts, Katrina Balfe's interviews, they all carry the weight of actors who know they're saying farewell not just to characters, but to an entire chapter of their lives. That raw emotion will bleed onto the screen, and as viewers, we won't just watch it, we'll feel it. But let's not forget, Outlander has always thrived on misdirection. That trailer moment, Henry's voice calling Claire Mrs. Fraser, could be the cruelest trick yet. Maybe it's not Henry at all. Maybe it's William, or Lord John, or someone we've yet to imagine. The show loves to dangle hope before snatching it away. And if that's the case, then Claire's stunned reaction may be less about reunion and more about betrayal. That's the genius of Outlander. It makes us hope, it makes us fear, and then it makes us hurt. And in the final season, I expect all three still. I can't shake the possibility that Henry is the one waiting in the shadows. Because thematically, it makes perfect sense. The prequel Blood of My Blood began his story, and the main series ending with his return would tie the narrative into a perfect circle. A father lost to time returns at the end of time. It's poetic. It's tragic. And it's exactly the kind of devastating symmetry that Outlander has always embraced. If Henry truly finds Claire, then the story doesn't end with war or death. It ends with family. And isn't that what this saga has always been about? Family. Not just the ones we love, but the ones we lose. Not just the ones we fight beside, but the ones we fight against. In Season 8, Jamie and Claire won't just face outsiders threatening Fraser's Ridge. They'll face the truth of their own bloodlines. Faith's unresolved fate. William's complicated claim. Henry's impossible return. These are not battles that can be won with muskets or armies. They are battles of the heart. And those battles cut deepest of all. And here's where the fear settles in. Outlander is not afraid of tragedy. We've seen beloved characters die. We've watched families torn apart by war, time, and betrayal. So, why should the finale be any different? The promise of closure doesn't mean safety. It means answers. And answers often hurt. Maybe Henry's return isn't a reunion, but a goodbye. Maybe Faith's story doesn't end with joy, but with loss that finally closes the wound. Maybe Fraser's Ridge itself, the land Jamie and Claire fought to build, cannot survive the storm of secrets. Whatever happens, one thing is certain. We will not walk away unscathed. As we wait for 2026, we hold on to the single moment that changed everything. A quiet scene. Jamie.
Claire.
A voice from the shadows. Mrs. Fraser. Was it Henry? Was it someone else? Or was it Outlander's final trick, the spark that lights the fire of its last season? We don't know. But we do know this. When the truth is revealed, it will change everything we thought we knew about the Frasers, about their family, and about the very nature of time itself. And that is why Season 8 will not just be an ending. It will be a reckoning. A reckoning with the past, a reckoning with family, and a reckoning with love. The story that began with Claire stepping through the stones will end with every secret, every scar, and every sacrifice coming full circle. And when the final credits roll, Outlander will not just leave us with answers. It will leave us with the haunting reminder that time does not heal all wounds. Sometimes it brings them back to us. Oh, get ready. Because Outlander Season 8 isn't just closing a chapter. It's closing a world. And when Henry finds Claire, whether in truth or in memory, it will mark the moment where everything ends and everything begins again.